This is the moment we've all been waiting for after weeks of relentless battles and heart-stopping rallies. This is the men's division finals of our NDSL volleyball series. First in the men's division, it'll be between the Alpha Insurance Protectors and the Signal HD Spikers. And first, talking about the Signal HD Spikers, of course, they won against the Perpetual Help Quinto Tires in that semifinals matchup where they won 3-1, of course, led by that guy, Jamo Mandal. On the other side, the Alpha Protectors winning against UST, led by Barbie San Andres, but looks like, let's see if he'll be in this matchup as we'll start this one out. Again, with that semifinals win for Signal against Perps, they got that big first set win. And the next sets were close, where Perps actually won set 3, but ultimately lost the match. So that's something they need to take note of if they want to beat this big-time opponent in the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Meanwhile, on the other side, it was a close first set win for Alpha in the semifinals, where they lost the second set, but found their rhythm in sets 3 and 4 to secure their finals ticket. So both teams, again, they have the tendency to let down their guard during the set 3 and set 4, but let's see if that shall be the case. And let's see if one team will be able to take note and take advantage of that said circumstance. As right now we have a score of all 1 in our first set. So right now serving for the Alpha Insurance Protectors is a Motol. So that time it goes out, so Signal will earn one right there. And on the other side, it's JM Ronquillo serving for the Signal HD Spikers. And Ronquillo will get it across. Apolinario gets it ready. Camposano will earn a point for the Protectors. Let's take a look one more time. Again, great setup right there from Apolinario. Camposano not wasting his time getting that one to go in. As a Bunyawan serve that one sharp. Ronquillo. And that is in. So apparently touched by a white shirt. So that'll count, yes, for the Signal HD Spikers. As we now have a score of all three. So far, still close. As a former UST player here, Jamo Mandal will serve. As he will get it across. The set once again by Apolinario. The tap, that is denied by Miguel. Camposano, high setup. Miguel taps it in. And the Alpha Insurance Protectors keeping it alive, but they got blocked. One more chance for them, Camposano. Not that time. Jamo Mandal finding a gap in that Alpha defense. Let's take another look again. Jamo Mandal proving that sometimes power isn't the answer. So 4 serving 3. Umandal. That was too long. Point goes to Alpha. So right now serving for the Alpha Protectors is Francis Casas. And the former Soaring Falcon gets it across. Alpha will try to save it. It looks like they'll do. Camposano bails it out. They get it ready. The tap. Umandal, not that time. Signal with another chance. Martin Bugawan with an attack. Earning Signal a point. Another look. Again, great setup. But talk about that attack. Downwards attack coming from Martin Bugawan. And Signal will serve this one up. Apolinario sets it up. Camposano finding a crack on that wall. Camposano ties it all up at 5 in our first set. As Alpha will serve this one out. And he won't get it across. That was too low. Service error called on the Alpha Protectors. So Signal once again with a chance. As they're up by 1. Camposano, Apolinario. And there you have it. Billie Jean Anima showing what he can do. So it's all tied up at 6. No team really taking off. So we'll take another look again. Camposano to Apolinario, and Billie Jean Anima just not disappointing his teammates during that sequence. As he'll have a chance to get it across with his service. Talking about Billie Jean Anima, former, or current rather, DLSU Green Archer. As right now, the setup, the attack, Umandal getting denied. They'll set it up again, the tap. But there was a net touch on the side of the Protectors, so a bullet dodged right there for the HD Spikers. As we'll take another look again, the Signal HD Spikers dodging a bullet with that sequence, as that tap coming from Ronquillo was too short. Nevertheless, they'll get through with the service. Not that time from Motol. Looks like they'll try one more time. And that time it's Jeff Abunyawan with power. Let's take another look. Again, despite getting denied, Alpha just going back to the drawing board and fighting Jeff Abunyawan for that beautiful lift. All tied up at 7. And it's going to be JM Apolinario serving for the Alpha Insurance. From the University of the East, of course, as he'll get it across. High setup. What an attack at that time. Courtesy of Casey Andrade, as Signal now will enter their first technical timeout. They're up by 1. We'll be back for more.
And you're still watching the NDSL Volleyball Series. This is Jess Constantino, your courtside reporter for today's action. Let's talk about the Alpha Insurance Protectors today, who have a tough task at hand dahil wala ngayon si Bautista and Hizon, and San Andres is currently having a hard time getting to the venue dahil nga malakas yung ulan this morning. But for Coach Fritz Santos, they will bank on their communication and chemistry para nga makakuha ng panalo ngayong araw, dahil sabi niya, as long as they are together, mas maganda daw yung magiging laban nila. I also asked him kung meron ba silang kailangang bantayan dito sa Signal team, at ang sabi niya lang, that's Signal team. So lahat sila kailangan mong bantayan. Balik na sa'yo, Chuck.
Thank you very much, Jess, for that beautiful report. And indeed, a couple of absences on the side of Coach Fritz Santos and the Protectors. But nevertheless, they will have to work with the cards they're dealt with, as we'll take another look on that double block coming from the Protectors, earning them a point. Great net defense showcased by them. And on the other side, that was a great attack, but great floor defense coming from the Protectors. Meanwhile, Bugawan getting that one in off a block touch. So neither team, again, is taking off so far. But who took off? That guy, Martin Bugawan, showing some hops. As James Ronquillo will be tasked with service opportunities here. That's too strong. Protectors showing some energy. So it's 10-9. Jeff Abunyawan once again tasked with the service here in this sequence. He'll get it across on a very sharp one. Meanwhile, Martin Bugawan once again. Let's take another look. Again, that was a great serve coming from Abunyawan, but Martin Bugawan just sending that ball packing. All tied up at 10. Joe Mandal. This time it's his turn to serve. He'll get it through. Apolinario, the setup. Camposano with a bullet, giving Alpha another point. And in this close matchup, every point matters. Another look on what just happened. Again, Camposano showing some power. Signal this time. Ronquillo answering back with his own death blow. So again, in a tightly contested matchup like this one, every point matters, and that's why you've got to defend those kinds of attacks. That time it was JM Ronquillo, but recently a service error called on Martin Bugawan. Meanwhile, Edward Camposano, that's too strong at the service. So Signal, once again, tying this game up at 12. Once again, only in our first set. This time it's Silang. On the other side, not that time for Anima. Oh, great block by him. Miguel will try again. And that is latched. Motol builds it out. Prudencio, the setup. Miguel once again. And Alpha unable to parry that attack coming from Wendell Miguel. That gives Signal a thin margin of 1. We'll take another look. Again, great setup. And Wendell Miguel, despite getting blocked a while ago, not giving up and finding an opening. So it's 13-12. So it's on the other side. Chris Silang from the Far Eastern University will serve it up. But that's too short. So Alpha once again getting a deadlock at 13. As it's Billie Jean Anima serving right now. But it's too strong. So both teams getting a couple of errors to start our finals matchup. With a set 1, of course. As right now, it's Wendell Miguel of Signal to serve. He'll get it across, the setup. That was a great decoy on the side of Alpha. Motol getting the job done. Another look on what just happened. Again, great decoy on their side. Abunyawan faked Signal out of their shoes as Motol again getting the job done, earning them a point. As right now, Umandal, just like that, another day in the office for Jao Umandal. And Signal easily reclaiming that point that they lost a while ago and tying this setup at 15. Or correction, 1 point lead actually for Signal HD Spikers, and make that a 2-point lead after a block, I believe, coming from Jao Umandal, as we have our second technical timeout. 16-14, 2-point lead for Signal in set 1. We're still live here from the Playtime Filoil Center in San Juan City, and this is still the NDSL Volleyball Series, the finals of our men's division. So far, 16-14, Signal up by 2 here in set 1. Abunyawan, not the best attack for him. Meanwhile, Ronquillo Got it across. Alpha tried to parry it, but Signal just proving that they're too much during that sequence. We'll take another look. Again, JM Ronquillo fighting an open spot. Campuzano wasn't ready for that power. Right now, an over serve coming from Casey Andrade of Signal. So that's very unfortunate for them. But they do have a 2-point lead currently in our set 1. As right now it's Motol sending it across. The setup. Omandal taps it. Great recovery coming from Alpha. Motol delivers. A much needed attack coming from Alpha, as they don't want to let their opponent steer away, even though it's just a 2-point lead a while ago. Again, Motol with that back row attack, getting the job done for the Protectors. Currently 17-16. So right now, again, at 17-16. So far, both teams, again, not really finding their footing. A couple of errors here and there. But again, it's only set 1. So let's see what's in store for everybody here. Motol. Another over serve. So Signal holding a 2-point lead once again against the Alpha Protectors, as we're seeing a couple of substitutions here. As Casano will get it across. Apolinario, high setup. But Signal prevailing in that sequence, as that attack coming from Francis Casas was just too much. So 19 serving 16 now. Casas gets it across. Apolinario this time. And Casas will attack. So Jeff Abunyawan will serve for the Alpha Protectors as they're trailing by 2 points. Signal now with an opportunity. What an attack that time, but Alpha showing some hustle. Motol bails it out. Prudenciado. It's time. That was Jao Mandal once again with a dynamite of that beautiful set. And with that, I believe the biggest deficit so far faced by Alpha. We'll take another look. Again, Jao Omandal. Just too much for that Alpha defense. 20 serving 17. So it's Jao Omandal tasked with service for the HD Spikers. And that was too strong on the side of Signal, as that goes out. And Alpha dodging a bullet right there, as we're seeing a couple of substitutions on the side of the Protectors. So Coach Fritz Santos mixing things up. Let's see if this shall deem effective moving forward. Again, as right now, they're trailing by 2 points in set 1. Lopez gets it across. Service ace on the side of Lopez and Alpha. So that's what you like to see. A lot of service errors and over serves so far in our match, but a rare service ace this time to the delight of the Alpha Protectors. As right now they're only trailing by 1 point. Talking about the Protectors. So it's Jerome Lopez once again getting it across. The setup. Wendell Miguel getting that one in and earning the HD Spikers a point once again. Another look on what just happened again. Wendell Miguel proving that Signal has a lot of weapons in their arsenal. Lopez heads it up. Camposano showing what he can do. Answering back with their own powerful attack. As it's only a 1 point margin moving forward. We'll take another look. Again, beautiful setup coming from Lopez and Camposano, not disappointing. Meanwhile, Wendell Miguel once again, but he gets denied as Alpha puts up a fortress to tie this setup at 21. We'll take another look. Again, the timing was good for Miguel, but the timing was even better for Cajolo and Anima. Right now, the Signal HD Spikers prevailing with that Jawa Mandala back row attack. 22-21. Signal reclaiming that 1 point lead. (22-21). Silang gets it across. Lopez set up once again. And Motol finding a crack on that wall. So just like that, we have a tied set at 22. We'll take another view again. Lopez, phenomenal set. Motol with an even better attack. As the HD Spikers call a timeout here, we'll be back for more. Back to the action here, all tied up at 22. As again, no team really steering away with a big lead. No team letting down. Signal now with a chance. Another try. That will go for Miguel. Prudenciado sets it up. Ronquillo will try. And Signal will earn a point. Ronquillo just flat out hammering that ball downwards. And that was too much for the Alpha Protectors. Another look on what just happened. So it's 23-22. Signal again with a thin lead of 1. Alpha now. And that time, JP Bugawan. Great anticipation in that one. An over-reception from the Alpha, leading to that capitalization coming from the Signal HD Spikers. Another look on that sequence. To the 24-22. The Alpha Protectors forced to call a timeout here. We'll be back for more. Back to the action here. Wendell Miguel serving now for the Signal HD Spikers as they are currently in set point. And there you have it. The Signal HD Spikers blocking this set one. A very close set one win for them in our finals matchup. We'll take another look. Again, that block coming from Jao Mandal. Who better to score the last point than Jao Mandal for Signal? And we'll be back for set two. Back to the action here. Taking a look at our set one score presented to you by Black Mamba Energy Drink. A 3-point set one win again for the Signal HD Spikers. And throughout that set, no team really steered away with a big lead. Not until that very last two sequences. Again, I believe the first one was the attack coming from Wendell Miguel, and that last point, of course, the block, courtesy of no other than Joshua Umandal. So hopefully the Alpha Protectors can bounce back with a set 2 win, but of course that won't be easy against the stacked team of the Signal HD Spikers. And one thing we've learned, of course, from watching them all tournament long is that they have tons of weapons. If it's not going to be Jao Mandan, it's going to be someone else. It's going to be perhaps JM Ronquillo. They also have Wendell Miguel. And of course other names, not only of course their attackers, but also their setters. But let's see, again, Alpha, another known name in the men's volleyball environment. So definitely they'll have, or they'll put up a fight even if they do lose. As that time, Alpha with a great way to open our set 2. Moral getting that point in. Or I'm sorry, that was Francis Casas actually of Alpha being credited with that point. This time it's Modol. Not that time for him. And what a back row attack coming from Jao Mandal. Looks like he's not done with his business. Another look on that Jao Mandal. Again, a back row attack. Nothing to expect but power coming from Mandal. This time it's the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Campusano taps to the other side, and at that time, another back row attempt coming from Signal won't work. Silang once again the setup. Umandal the tap. And Alpha getting credited with the point as a net touch violation is called against Signal. So make that 2-1. Alpha with a thin margin here. Jeff Abunyawa now, 2 serving 1. Silang sets it up high. Unable to defend the floor was Alpha, leading to this Signal HD spiker point. Casey Andrade not disappointing with his attack. Casey Andrade will get it across. And the Casas getting denied. The Signal HD spikers with an iceberg. 3-2. Another look. Again, the Signal HD spikers with a double block, showing great net defense during that sequence. As right now, Anima finding a hole in that Signal defense. And of course, a great set coming from JM Apolinario. Make that all 3 now in our set 2. This time Francis Casas sends it across. Silang to Umandal. And Jao Umandal, again to say the least, just showing what he can do. And you gotta love those kinds of moments again. JM Apolinario and Jao Umandal just laughing that one off. Signal now with a 1-point lead. Again, and we're in our set 2. Ronquillo, Campuzano receives it. The setup, and Anima getting that one in again, courtesy of the set coming from JM Apolinario. So that play working wonders for Coach Fritz Santos and his players. Another look. Again, Anima just a quick tap to the left side. Silang, Umandal, not that time. Apolinario, not the attack for JM. Silang, and that time, Signal once again, courtesy of Martin Bugawan. We'll take another look. Again, Silang setting that one up high for Martin Bugawan, leading to the Signal point, as they're holding a 1-point gap. So Jao Umandal, that was too strong. So it goes back to Alpha, as we have a tied set now at all 5. Billie Jean Anima now sends it long. Silang, the setup. And that time, Signal not disappointing again, courtesy of Wendell Miguel. Again, if it's not Jao Umandal, it's gonna be anybody else. Wendell Miguel being consistent in our match. That is outside. Alpha dodging a bullet. Martin Bugawan getting subbed out now, as Provinciano checks back in for the HD Spikers. Silang, high setup, the tap. JM Ronquillo finding an open gap in that Alpha defense. No one was there to parry that ball. So make that a 1-point lead for the HD Spikers. As it's Silang now. Campuzano receives it. Apolinario the setup. And Jeff Abunyawan with an off spin. So Motol now serving for the Protectors. Signal now with a chance. Silang the setup. And that goes in for Wendell Miguel. Again, he has been very consistent in this game as we enter our first technical timeout. Alpha up by 1.
And you're still watching the NDSL Volleyball Series Men's Championship game. Let's talk about the Signal HD Spikers right now. Persistent and always back to basics. Ganyan din describe ni Coach Alexis Faiteren ang kanyang Signal team going to this finals game. He added maganda daw yung naging epekto sa kanila joining this tournament dahil nag-improve daw talaga yung connection and communication ng team nila. But for this game, with Alpha, tatlong bagay yung paalala ni Coach Alexis. Number 1, watch out for the Alpha's combination plays. Second, lalo na daw yung mga high flyers itong Protectors. And lastly, kailangan nilang basahin itong laro ng Protectors. That's all for now. Balik na sa inyo, Cho and Sheila.
Thank you very much, Jess, for that beautiful report. And indeed, a lot of things to watch out for the Signal HD Spikers. And that includes the high flyers of the Alpha Protectors, including Francis Casas.
Ang maganda dun sa sinabi ni Jess kanina, hindi kampante. Itong Signal HD, as we all know, this is one of the pro teams that we have in this season. At every game, they take it as a challenge and a very specific reminders nga naman dahil nakikita natin may mga plays itong Alpha that will really work and sometimes yung kanilang mga depensa ay nandun din naman. But in that last sequence, it was just too much power from that attack.
Let's take another look again. JM Ronquillo not disappointing in that sequence. Indeed, showing some power and earning Signal a point as they're holding a 2-point lead currently in set 2. This time it's the Alpha Protectors with a chance. Francis Casas with a dynamite.
Itong Alpha, when they have a really good first ball and then they can convert to a point just like that. If you will see this replay, nakita natin, no, nahuli yung blockers actually and left a big open spot for them to be able to get that point.
This time the HD Spikers.
Well, clearly that is no check violation against Signal.
So the Alpha Protectors dodging a bullet right there as they tie the game up at 10. Currently in set 2. Casas gets it across. Silang the setup. And Alpha showing some hustle. Saving the ball. Camposano will try. Over-received by the HD Spikers.
Sayang yung opportunity, no? Nakuha na nila yung advantage the second time around, but napalakas nga lang yung hulog on the side dito ni Anima.
So Signal with a thin margin of 1. JM Ronquillo will be serving now for the HD Spikers. And he sends it across. Apolinario the setup. Casas once again.
No, that is a bullet attack from the back. Ang baba ng setup pero ang ganda ng timing ni Casas.
So another tied game at 11. Every point matters in this tightly contested matchup. Camposano with a service. JM Ronquillo getting denied, but nevertheless, a block touch.
Substitution for Signal. Number 11, Omandal out. Number 19, Maglinaw in.
As Maglinaw checks in for Jao Mandal. Signal again with a 1-point lead so far. Vince Maglinaw. Service for the Signal HD Spikers. A sharp service. Nevertheless, Francis Casas showing some hops. It ties the game up at 12. Another look on that Francis Casas attack from behind.
You really like the effort being shown here ng Alpha, no? Kahit hindi sila solid for this match. Dahil nga yung iba sa kanila ay na-stranded sa baha. But still, they're really putting up a good fight against Signal, who only dropped a set in this whole season.
Indeed, the Alpha Insurance Protectors showing that they have no excuses. As right now, Ronquillo will try.
Ang bilis naman nakabawi nun. Parang walang blocker sa harap, no? Quick response, hitting that down the line.
Another look on that Wendell Miguel bullet.
You know, that only shows how familiar is this Signal HD to one another and kilala na nila yung laro ng bawat isa.
And that will indeed make it a better match as Motol just bringing that ball down for a point.
Nakasagot naman agad. And that is really what is good about this Alpha Protectors. Kanina medyo alanganin, nakikita mo there's a little bit of hesitation rather on their movements. Pero ngayon, nakukuha na nila yung feel and even converting it to a point.
Great floor defense showcased by Alpha.
But that is just one of the things that they really have to focus on. Kanina, ang dami nilang walang coverage. At ang ganda kasi ng defense dito ng Signal is just that they cannot cover and not able to convert. Ang bilis na, madaling puntos yun for Signal.
That was a double block coming from the HD Spikers as they're holding a 1-point lead. Right now it's Silang for Signal. He'll try to send that ball across.
Serving for Signal, number 18, Sian Silang.
As right now, Motol will try. And that is a point for them.
Yes, he was successful. It was intentional to hit that ball and allow the blockers of Signal to touch it. Kasi alanganin na rin yung talon niya eh.
So the Protectors prevailing in that sequence as we have another tied set at 14. Again, Signal stealing that set one. A close set one win for them. As a Motol service header on his part. That's gotta hurt.
Yes, wasted opportunity for Alpha.
So Signal now getting or reclaiming that point that they lost a while ago. Wendell Miguel. Phenomenal so far, but service error on his part too.
Back-to-back errors ng ating mga koponan dito. That makes it more challenging that we are tied at 15, which happened even in the first set.
Jeff Abunyawa now. Long serve. Silang sets it up. Maglinaw.
Solo block. Solid pa. Great timing on the side of Alpha. And you have that is Francis Casas.
We'll enter our second technical timeout. 16-15. Alpha up by 1. (16-15). Again, the Alpha Protectors hoping to get this set 2 against the Signal HD Spikers. As Jeff Abunyawan serves for Alpha. A very sharp serve. Over-received by Signal. Nevertheless, they keep it alive. And will get a point courtesy of JM Ronquillo.
No, there was a gap in between Camposano and Anima in that defense. Kaya naman nagkaroon ng opportunity. If you will see this attack, nasa gitna, just heading through the middle of the blockers.
So that JM Ronquillo attack will tie the setup at 16. And right now it's Casey Andrade serving for the Signal HD Spikers. And again, that set 1 win for the Signal HD Spikers was very close, 25-22. Gotta be a heartbreaker for the boys of Coach Fritz Santos, but again, they do have a chance to bounce back, but it's gonna be a hard one.
Number 6, Casey Andrade, serving.
So again, it's Casey Andrade getting it through. Anima, not that time. Good floor defense from the Signal HD Spikers. Apolinario gets it ready. Francis Casas once again with a thunderbolt.
I like the transition on the side of Alpha in that last sequence. Ganda ng basa ng bola and they were able to convert.
Let's take another look Again, great floor defense showcased by both teams. But Francis Casas just dropping the mic on that sequence. Couple of substitutions for both of our squads. So let's see which strategy will be more effective. As Lopez is back with the Alpha Protectors. 70-60 now.
Serving for Alpha, number 12.
Jerome Lopez serving for the Protectors as he'll get it across. Silang feeds it up. Not that time for Signal. Alpha trying, and they keep it alive.
Good effort, yes, by Alpha.
Maglinaw. That was in.
Ang bilis nung bola, pero nakita nung linesman namin, it touched whatever part of the body of the libero of Alpha.
So Vince
Buhok ata
Maglinaw,
yun eh.
after all, prevailing in that sequence. Again, sharp eyes again coming
Yes.
from our officials.
Serving for the HD.
So yet again, we have a tied set at 17. Again, we're in our set 2. This time, Campuzano getting denied.
Good coverage though. That one is a very creative attack on the side of Campuzano.
Edward Campuzano proving that it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Another look on that maneuver from Edward Campuzano. You said it, very creative. Signal now with a chance. Alpha keeping it alive.
You know, it's not really the strongest of attacks for Javelona, but probably it's the timing that really allowed that ball to went through the blocker's hands in that last frame.
Jose Avelona finding a hole in that defense. As Alpha now holding a 2-point lead, 19-17. The tap, and that is out. Signal once again answering back.
Merong hesitation dun sa move ni Campuzano in getting that check ball.
Serving for Signal, number 19.
Not too much high, kaya naman that allowed Signal to get another point. Easy one.
So a chance to tie the setup. Vince Maglinaw, a very sharp serve. Good recovery. Moto will try, and he'll succeed.
Excellent attack and timing angle as well, powering the blockers in that last play.
Again, Rocky Motol showing some power and giving the Alpha Protectors a 2-point lead.
Serving for Alpha, number 18, Romelico Bautista.
So Baptista will serve. That was short.
Well, Baptista was already in position. Kita niya na sa kanya pupunta yung bola. Pero yung contact, when it was hit by the spiker on the side of Signal, naging floater. So meaning there was no spin by Bugawan. But still, that's a point for Signal.
And more importantly, only a 1-point deficit being faced by the HD Spikers. Rocky Motol won't succeed. Abunyawan to Lopez. The attack, not that time for Avelona.
I like the presence of mind of the setter of Alpha. You have Lopez in that sense, but because he was utilizing all his spikers in front. Pero mas mabilis yung reaction dito ng Signal. Imagine from open, going to the opposite, ganong kabilis yung reaction nila. Still, solid ang kanilang block, converting that to a point.
Meanwhile, Rocky Motol reclaiming that point that they lost. And you can see it, Alpha really wants it bad after a heartbreaking set 1 loss. As Francis Casas and JM Apolinario checks in the game for Coach Fritz Santos. So let's see if the Alpha Insurance Protectors can pull this set 2 win off. As Apolinario, short serve. De La Noche getting the job done.
Medyo hindi nagkaintindihan doon ang libero ng Alpha. At si Camposano, libero is Lacerna. Oh, that is Manato, Neil Manato. Sorry for that.
So we're all tied up at 21.
Serving for signal, number 18.
And of course, we've expected no less in a finals matchup once again here in the NDSL Volleyball Series. As Casas over attack. Oh, that is in.
Yes, that's another point. And guys, as you can see, a couple of points na ginagawa ni Casas for Alpha, which they really needed at this part of the match.
Indeed. Francis Casas delivering in the best times possible. But Rafi Motol,
Binawi with an error. There are a lot of, well, Alpha commits, maybe that's the second or third service error, pero crucial eh.
hey, that's gotta hurt indeed. Wendell Miguel now. Will get it across. Very sharp serve on his side. Francis Casas delivering the package.
Bawi ulit si Casas dito. Really doing well for the team.
So we have yet another 1 point gap. Alpha holding this one out, and we'll be back after this timeout. We go back to the action here in the Playtime Filoil Center. Once again, it is the men's division finals of our NDSL Volleyball Series. The Alpha Protectors so far holding on to this thin margin of 1 point. As Bunyawan gets it across. Silang high setup. And Alpha unable to recover.
Another miscommunication on the side of Alpha. Walang gusto nga mag-commit on that check ball. Although nakuha na nung una, pero syempre kailangan ng follow-up niyan. You cannot just look at each other. It's a second important na bawat galaw mo, makakapag-react ka kaagad. And you can see the reaction of the coaches na nang hinayang. Kasi naiangat na nila.
Certainly a crucial mistake on the side of the Protectors. Kaya natin kung makaka-bounce back. But not that time. Martin Bugawan ruining the fun.
Another error, miscommunication on the side of Alpha.
We'll take another look. Again, Martin Bugawan giving them a 1 point lead and a set point. And that's gonna do it for our set 2, 25-23. Yet again, another close set win for the Signal HD Spikers, 25-23. And another heartbreaker for the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Another look. Defense is what won them those first 2 sets. But we'll be back for set 3. Back to the action here. Taking a look at our scores for set 1 and 2. Presented to you by Black Mamba Energy Drink. Again, both sets very close, but a heartbreaker for the Alpha Insurance Protectors.
You know, one thing na dapat iwasan dito ng Alpha is yung kanilang service error. That's one. And then another is they have to be more aware on the coverage, lalo na kasi doon mas madalas nakakapuntos itong Signal, just because Signal's defense is solid and they can read kung saan papaluin ng Alpha yung bolo, kung saan nila papapuntahin, bantay na bantay, whether at the net or on the floor. So that's would be very challenging for Alpha.
Indeed, defense was the main anchor of both those set wins for the Signal HD Spikers, as James Apolinario commits a service error to start our set 3.
Yes. Not really a good start, pero well, umpisa pa lang naman. Kaya lang, syempre, the first service is your momentum builder.
Of course, and against a team like the Signal HD Spikers, you don't want to commit those kinds of mistakes. As Alpha will keep it alive. Motol bailed it out. Martin Bugawan with a missile from the sky.
You know, I like how Kasanya able to distribute and make plays kasi hindi alam ng blockers ng Alpha kung saan niya dadalhin yung bola. In that last frame, kalat-kalat yung blockers ng Alpha. Just, you know, it's a good strategy though. However, hindi nila nababantayan. But a wasted opportunity for Signal as that ball just hits the net.
So it's 2-1. Rocky Motol will get it across. Kasanya gets it ready. Martin Bugawan once again with a bazooka.
The second time around, single or rather attack from the middle. Etong Alpha, they just do the one man-to-man defense at the net, which will not really work for Signal lalo na. And on the other hand, Signal is really taking advantage dahil isa nga lang yung blocker sa harap.
So hopefully Alpha can find solutions to their current problems. But right now, barely saving that one, as that was blocked by Signal. Campuzano still not in. And Martin Bugawan taking it. Wait a minute.
The Signal is asking for a check. Hence the gesture. Pero syempre sa mga ganyan, hindi sila amin. That's the referee's final decision. And that is Alpha's ball and point.
So Alpha dodging a bullet yet again against these HD Spikers. Kasanya sets it up. Joe Omandal showing again what he can do.
Very consistent and all power. Itong si Joshua, mapalikod o mapaharap.
Another look on that Joe Omandal finish, giving the Signal HD Spikers a 2-point advantage as we are again in our set 3. Joe Omandal now. Send it across, but it's too strong.
Well, kanina pa yun nangyayari, nakakapunto siya, and then when he serves, he commits an error. And those kind of points at this part of the set, medyo pwede pa. It's still early, but we won't know kung paano i-maximize ng Alpha yung opportunities. But that's a really good dig. However, that ball went out. Too much power.
Signal prevailing once again in that sequence. Again, hopefully their mistakes won't bite them in the back later in the crucial moments of our set and of the game. One more set and they'll go home with our men's division championship. Another look on that crazy sequence. Again, that was greatly digged coming from Alpha, but went out of bounds. As Bugawan sends it across. Apolinario, not the best setup for them. Kasanya now to JM Ronquillo. Not that time. Alpha keeping it alive. Campuzano will bail it out. Bugawan, Kasanya. Oh, Umandal, no good on that back row attack.
Nahuhuling nagpa-popcorn yung signal in that last defense. Nakita mo, they were not really expecting that ball will be blocked. Kaya lahat sila nakatayo. Nobody, was expecting that it will go back to their court.
And a great double block for Alpha, courtesy of BJ Anima and Edward Camposano. As right now, Wendell Miguel, no good on the attack. Alpha will try. That was too strong for Rocky Motol.
Ang ganda sana ng timing pero kinulang lang ng flick of the wrist. Kaya naman lumabas yung bola niya. They were expecting a touch pero sa harap ng ating first referee nangyari yun.
So make it 6-4. So EJ Casania with service. Apolinario, Anima didn't go for power. Ronquillo though will go for power and will get the point.
Bumawi. Kanina wala daw. Check ngayon. Siya ulit yung pinapalo.
So a 3-point advantage for Signal. A rare early 3-point advantage for them. Apolinario. Casas answering back with his own bazooka.
That is his specialty, attack from the opposite si Casas. He has done that, I think, 3 or 4 times in the previous sets and very consistent, always getting a point from that hit.
Another look on that Francis Casas attack. They need more of those if they want to keep up with these HD spikers. Service ace for BJ Anima.
Medyo nalin lang dun yung setter na si ng Signal. Si EJ Casania dahil tumama sa net yung bola. That's why namali yung basa niya eh.
So Alpha hopefully will get some momentum off that service ace. As it's BJ Anima serving for them. Take another look on that service ace again. Late on that defensive response was Signal. As right now, Casania, Ronquillo.
Whoa, that's a solid block by Apolinario. Yun nga lang, yung tama nung bola lumabas. But still, the timing was there. Solid.
So we enter our first technical timeout, 8-6. Signal holding a 2-point advantage.
And you're still watching the NDSL Volleyball Series Men's Championship Finals. Lamang pa din ang Signal HD Spikers, 2 sets to none. And speaking of Signal, nakakwentuhan ko si Joshua Umandal kanina and he shared whether it's eliminations or finals game daw. Tatlong bagay lang yung laging nasa isip niya. Be ready, stay focused, and always give his best. Unlike other players na may pre-game ritual, lalo na pag ganitong finals game, he shared na ang tanging ginagawa lang daw niya before game ay mag-focus on strengthening and activation dahil nga daw, parang daw siyang diesel, matagal bago mag-init. Lastly, nasabi din niya na ang lagi niya daw paalala sa kanyang teammates, kahit sino nga daw yung kalaban nila, dapat show no mercy. Cho and Sheila?
Thank you very much, Jess, for that report. And indeed, Joao Mandal, as great as he is never complacent, and that's what you want to hear.
Grabe yung para siyang diesel. Hindi pa naman ganong may ano ba sasabihin ko ka-experience. Although he's already experienced on the floor because he is part of the national team. Diba? Pero hindi naman nahahalata na diesel siya kasi simula first set nakakapuntos na to eh.
And of course, throughout the tournament, we've seen him.
Oh, that was a facial to Camposano. One more time. Great presence of mind by Ronquillo. Kanina, first attack was hard. Ngayon naman, just a soft touch in the middle. He is aware kung nasaan ang mga floor, ang mga tao on the side of Alpha. The floor defense is very open in the middle.
Jaime Ronquillo proving that sometimes power isn't the answer, as Signal is holding a 1-point advantage. Meanwhile, denied that time by Signal. Meanwhile, Motol, no good on the tap. Miguel to Ronquillo.
Somebody touched the net sa ilalim at huli pero hindi gulong at ang nakahawak sa net ay Alpha. So, puntos yan para sa Signal.
So Alpha hopefully will not get bitten in the back by their errors in the crucial moments, of course, of this set 3. One more set and the Signal will go home with our NDSL Men's Division Volleyball Series Championship. Right now,
Ang lakas nung atake na yon in that last frame. Another opportunity wasted for Alpha.
Jaime Apolinario tried to be unpredictable. But again, yes, you said it, too strong. As we have a score of 8-11. Again, we're in our set 3. Can Signal finally close this one off, or can Alpha keep themselves alive in our finals matchup? As the Protectors will get a point of that overserve from Signal.
Serving for Alpha, number 9, Rocky.
So Rocky Motol now will serve. Has had a great game so far. Meanwhile, what a launch that time coming from Miguel. Alpha this time. Not the best set coming from Apolinario.
Yes, baba kasi. Oh, well, Umandal really has a good attack in mind. A very smart one, pero nahawakan yung net in that last frame.
Indeed, great intention from Jao Mandal. Just couldn't deliver.
Number 9, Rocky Moto.
Nevertheless, Alpha will narrow down the gap to just 1 point. Miguel, great reception. Bugawan, not that time. Abunyawan saves it. Apolinario will bail it out. Signal now with a chance. And the tap downwards coming from Jaime Ronquillo.
I like how Signal players really maximizes yung strength lalo na ng setter nila kung paano niya papaganahin, i-activate lahat ng attackers nila. And it just makes the defense of Alpha really confused.
12-10 now, Jaime Ronquillo with service responsibilities. 2-point gap in favor of Signal.
Oh, that's another service error. Sayang.
Make that a 1-point gap as Alpha yet again hoping on the errors of the Signal HD Spikers. As we're seeing some substitutions from both squads. Jeff Abunyawa now. Gets it across on a long serve. Wendell Miguel.
That ball is out.
Ball is out. Point.
Di ba nahuhuli yung tingin ko kung sino sa kanila yung pupuntos kasi lahat pumapasok for a combination play.
The power was there, but the accuracy wasn't. Nevertheless, Alpha now able to tie this one up at 12. Abunyawan. Miguel now. Casanya. De La Noche.
Oh,
Not that
good pick
time.
up.
Not that time coming from Manima. Maglinaw will try. No good on the tap. Apolinario feeds it up. Camposano.
That is just too low of a set for Camposano. If I'm not mistaken, mas gusto kasi ni Camposano yung mataas na medyo dikit sa net. Mas madali for him to makadiskarte sa mga ganong set. Pero sayang yung mga ganong opportunities. It was easy, really easy for the blockers of Signal HD to read that kind of attack.
Indeed, great net defense showcased by the HD Spikers. And more importantly, giving them a 1-point advantage in our third set. And for sure, they want it to be their last set in this match.
Ang bilis naman, Cho. Gusto mo na agad matapos.
For sure, yun yung gusto nila. But I'm sure Alpha won't go out without a fight, as this is once again our finals matchup in the men's division. Maglinaw gets it across. Apolinario, the high feed. This time, Wendell Miguel denied, but that goes out and point goes to Signal.
Grabe yung confidence no na meron itong mga attackers ng Signal. Pag binigyan sila ng bola, makikita mo sa galaw nila, they will really make sure to get that point, to convert a point.
And indeed, who wouldn't have confidence as you're up 2-0 against your opponents? As maglinaw, not that time for him. Campusano.
Showing his own version of an attack. See that kind of set na binigay niya kay Campusano. It allowed him to get to the ball, approach on time without, minamadali. And that's the kind of set that Campusano really likes.
Service error on the side of Francis Casas. And Coach Fritz Santos not liking that one. It gives Signal a 2-point advantage, at least right now. Martin Bugawan. Apolinario this time. The tap by Casas. Cerebral move.
Yes, that is a really crafty attack. Drop rather on the side of Casas. Realizing that there is a big hole on that part of the court for Signal.
Another look on that soft touch coming from Francis Casas. Proving once again that sometimes power isn't the answer. Edward Campusano. Sharp serve. Another cerebral move, this time with the side of the Signal HD Spikers.
Aggressive as well, and you like how Casania is really aware where he is, and that is he is a frontliner at kaya niyang gawin yun against the blocker of Alpha.
We'll enter our second technical timeout. Nandito pa rin tayo sa PhilOil Playtime Center. And this is still the NDSL Men's Division Volleyball Series Finals. As of right now, 2-point lead by Signal. De La Noche denied that time. He'll try once again. Alpha keeps it alive and bails it out. Casania, the set, the tap. And the rally continues. Motol won't work. Casania this time, Wendell Miguel with a missile from the sky.
Nakahinga na rin ako doon kasi I was looking at the rally, ang bilis. And may drop ball, may cross court, but look at Wendell Miguel finding that clear angle na talagang iniwasan yung blockers ng Alpha.
And he indeed saw that open spot. Again, great job para kay Wendell Miguel. As Signal now holding a 3-point lead in this set 3. Pero yun lang, meron tayong violation on the side of the Alpha Protectors.
May konting gigil kasi nakita na niya kung paano aatakihin itong bola. It was just a soft attack. Yes, at nakapuntos nga itong Alpha.
Number 3, Adam out. Number 18, Baptista.
So Baptista checks back in as BJ Anima will take a breather. Again, 2-point lead ang hawak itong Signal HD Spikers right now. Baptista, Prodenjado, high set, De La Noche. Apolinario, Campusano, no good. Signal now with a chance. The tap. The rally continues. Motol denied. Abunyawan. This time De La Noche. And that is out.
Yeah, that is a good read kay Campusano. he was able to acknowledge na talagang yung ganong kababang bola, out na.
Number 18, Romelito Baptista.
So good job on the side of Alpha. As right now they'll have another chance. The tide is set up at 17. De La Noche. Good reception from Casas. Motol gets one.
Pumuesto pa siya in that last sequence. Nakita mo naman, he was really confident with his attack. Dahil nga wala siyang blocker, so libreng-libre.
Another look on that mic drop coming from Rocky Motol. Nag-post pa. So there you have it, all tied up at 17. And for sure, Alpha looking to steal this set 3 against Signal.
Serving number 18, Romelito Baptista.
Baptista, a very sharp serve. Somehow, some way, Signal saves that ball. Back row attack, working for Edward Camposano.
Grabe yung power, no? Hindi kinaya ng triple block yung atake sa likod ni Edward Camposano.
Signal calls a timeout here. They're down by 1. Back to the action here. Let's take another look on that previous sequence. Again, Edward Camposano's back row attack working wonders for Alpha. But they're down 2 sets to none. So hopefully they can bounce back as they do have a 1-point lead.
Walang question dyan is consistency. You know, they are leading by a point here. It's not that big, pero kung kaya nilang maalagaan yan and be more consistent when it comes to their attacks and defense, moreover than may chance sila na maka-extend or makakuha dito ng set.
Right now, Signal. Grabe naman yung palo na yun.
Hindi talaga papayag tong si Wendell Miguel. Uwing-uwi na siya. With that kind of setup and attack.
Let's take a look one more time. Indeed, hindi nga papayag talaga itong si Wendell Miguel. You can see it in his body language. All 18, Miguel. Apolinario. Motol delivers the package.
Good ball pa siya actually. Kasi tumama dito sa legs ni Wendell Miguel. Kaya lang hindi ko nakita if tinamaan ng libero ng Signal. But if it's hindi tumama doon sa libero, then still a good ball. But that's just too much power.
Rocky Motol again delivering as they're holding on to a very thin lead. Polinario, Prudenciado. This time, De La Noche will try.
Wala akong masabi dito sa mga attackers ng Alpha at saka ng Signal. Kahit sinong bigyan mo. Showtime eh. Kahit sinong bigyan mo, alam mo yung capacity nila na kaya nilang mag-deliver regardless mapaharap o mapalikod. Sa lalim ng roster nitong Signal, kaya nilang bunutin anyone and deliver, contribute a point.
Indeed, Signal at this point just, trying out some new things.
Oh, that's a good ball. Good pickup right there by Signal.
Ito naman si Rocky Motol getting denied. Apolinario, Casas. Nakakuha rin si Francis Casas.
Kanina sa open umatake, ngayon naman sa opposite. But the opposite side is more, I think, of his specialty. Kasi mas marami siyang na-contribute na bola from this opposite.
Francis Casas again happy with that point as they need every one of those. Another 1-point advantage for them. Hopefully they can convert it into a set.
Serving for Alpha, number 9, Rocky Motol.
Rocky Motol now. Service center.
Yung mga ganong service at this part of the match, hindi dapat sinasayang yan. It's very crucial if they really wanted to get a set against a Signal HD.
GM De La Noche now. Again, got a point a while ago off a kill. Sharp serve on his part. Apolinario. Casas.
There's a check and that ball will go to Alpha.
And great intention para kay Vince Maglinaw. Pero naisahan nga nitong Alpha Protectors. We'll take another look. Again, Casas. Cerebral move on his part. Giving Alpha a 1-point lead. 21-20 ang ating score.
Number 16, Jeff Abunyawan.
This time it's Jeff Abunyawan. And naitawid ang bola ni Jeff Abunyawan. Meanwhile, Martin Bugawan levitating in the air.
Bantay na bantay pagdating sa net. Nakita niya kasi naalanganin it. Nandun yung depensa ng Alpha. But in the second time, the second opportunity, hindi na niya pinabayaan. See how he was really looking at the ball and defending. Sabi niya, sarado na to, hindi na ito makakabalik sa amin. And definitely that paid well as they are tied at 21.
Great anticipation on the side of Martin Bugawan. As right now, we're in the crucial moment of our set. Can Alpha extend or can the Signal HD Spikers stop the party once and for all? And serving for the Signal HD Spikers is Vince Maglinaw. Another phenomenal player on their side. Again, the Signal HD Spikers indeed, napakadaming weapons nga in their arsenal. Sharp serve, barely getting it across. Francis Casas.
See, that's the kind of attack na talagang napaka-okay dito kaya Francis Casas. Good timing as well. Ganda ng first ball. Kaya naman nakapag-convert sila.
So yet again, Alpha with a 1-point advantage. Slowly but surely getting close to that point 25.
Number 10, Francis Casas.
So Casas will have a chance at it as he gets it across. Signal now with a chance. Martin Bugawan levitating.
I am speechless with this attack. It's a quick setup and ang bilis nung kanyang pag-approach and nahuli talaga yung blocker dito ng Alpha.
Another look on that Martin Bugawan strike from the air as we're all tied up at 22. Campusano bails it out on a high one. Meanwhile, that is delivered by Casey Andrade.
Timeout, Alpha.
So the Alpha Protectors call a timeout. They're down by 1 as we'll be back for more action. Back to the action here. 23-22 again. We're in a crucial part of our set 3. Take another look on that previous sequence. Again, Casey Andrade letting his name be known.
Pinabayaan lang ng depensa doon ng Alpha, yung setup, back quick setup.
Alpha now with a chance. Camposano with a death blow.
That was just too much for the blockers and defense of Signal. And a really tough angle para dito kay Edward Camposano.
Serving for Alpha, number 11, Edward Camposano.
Camposano, this time Casanya. And they keep it alive. Camposano now, high toss. Motol, short.
That's just too far from the net from an off-speed attack. But this time, oh, that's a good read by the libero. And Miguel, again, unstoppable in that attack.
Wendell Miguel indeed delivering, finding an open spot.
Dala-dala buong bahay nito. Ayaw na talagang papuntusin itong Alpha.
Again, double block attempt from Alpha wasn't enough to stop a Wendell Miguel attack. So Signal now at championship point. Perhaps the most crucial part of the match for the Signal HD Spikers. Casanya will get it across. Lopez to Motol. Won't go. Casanya. Miguel. And there you have it. Wendell Miguel scoring the last point and giving the Signal HD Spikers the championship of our NDSL Men's Division Volleyball Series.
Partida, no-look attack pa. In that last setup, nakita mo naman, the body was facing cross-court but the hand hitting down the line, and definitely, you know, that's a very confident hit para dito kay Wendell Miguel kasi in that last sequence, siya na lang, kumbaga yung pinaka-veterano on the floor.
And there you have it. Looks like the Signal HD Spikers will go home with a smile and a trophy. But a big time lesson learned for the Alpha Protectors.
Isa sa mga lesson learned nila dito, I believe, no, yung panahon. We've encountered a couple of mga bagyo in our season, and isa talaga sa mga naging challenge dito ng Alpha is yung travel time nila. And that took a toll on them because kinulang sila ng mga players for this match, and that really made a big difference. Kung nandito yung kanilang mga star players, definitely makaka-extend pa sila or may chance pa silang manalo for in this match. But, you know, Signal HG just showing how, like I said, they're the powerhouse team that we have here in NDSL. You can see the scores 25-22, 25-23, 25-23. Very, very consistent, though it's a good fight versus Alpha Protectors.
And now we shall turn it over to Miss Jess Constantino for our outstanding spiker of the game.
Thank you so much, Cho and Sheila, our outstanding player of the game, of course, none other than Wendell Miguel from the Signal HD Spikers. Wendell, you only lost one set in the entire tournament, no? Yung last, nung semifinals. And now you went back, 3 sets uli ninyo tinalo itong Alpha. Kasama ba yun sa game plan ninyo dito sa tournament na to?
Hindi po syempre. Siguro that time is maganda po talaga yung pinakita ng kalaban namin. Kudos naman sa kalaban namin. And lahat naman ng mga teams na nandito is ang tawag dito, malalakas. And syempre, knowing na gusto rin nila kami talunin lagi, every team na nandito gusto talaga talunin yung Signal. So syempre, nakita naman po natin yung performance. So yun, natalo kami isang set.
Let's talk about the game today ninyo. Very close game, close sets talaga. From first to third, no, talagang all 23. But we never see you guys push the panic button. How did you guys stay composed all throughout those crucial moments?
Siguro po for us, yung maturity ng team lumabas. And yung mga bata yung response ng mga bata sa team namin lumabas din. So parang kahit na dumidikit yung kalaban, kahit maganda yung piniperform ng kalaban, ang sinasabi ko lang sa mga teammates ko na let's compose 1 point at a time and then all out.
It's an excellent volleyball for you guys. At ngayon naman, batiin mo at pasalamatan lahat ng sumusuporta sa Signal HD Spikers.
Maraming salamat po sa Signal Management sa pagpatuloy po na pagsuporta sa team namin, and sa mga coaches, sa mga teammates ko na nasa alas, and coaches ko na nasa alas. Hello, ingat kayo lagi dyan. And sa family ko sa Bataan, mga family ng teammates ko, my girlfriend, hello. At sa mga sumusuporta po ng NDSL, maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much and congratulations again, Wendell Miguel from the Signal HD Spikers. Balik na sa inyo, Cho and Sheila.
Thank you very much, Jess. Once again, that is our standout Spalding spiker of the game, no other than Wendell Miguel. But stay tuned, we still have another finals matchup on your way. This time, it's in the women's division. The AFP Lady Gunners going up against the DHTSI. This has been Cholo Pangilinan, Sheila Salaysay, and Jess Constantino. And this is the NDSL Volleyball Series.